All right, sixth graders, this is a review for your math test. We are almost finished with this book. We are finished with this book. And we only have one book left. And so I'm not sure if you're going to be studying, if this is for your study Wednesday night, or if you're watching this Thursday morning before your test. But I do want you to do your corrections in your book first. And if you need to know answers, if your answer is correct or not, send me a picture of your problem and ask me. I can tell you if it's correct or not. Because I do want you to make sure that you know how to do everything before you take your test. Okay? But just a little bit of review for your test and kind of giving you a heads up what you're going to have on your test. You are going to... Let me get my paper here. You're going to be adding units of measure and converting them, like on page 64, number 15. You added, on 15A, you did something like this. All right, you guys did something like this. You added this up, and like let's say this is 7 and 6 is 13 hours. This is 18, 19, 20, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we had 13 hours and 90 minutes. Okay, remember we don't leave at 90. How many minutes are in an hour? 60. So we took 60 away from this, and we added 1 to this, and so we've got 30 minutes left over. So we took minutes off of here and added it over here, and we don't want more than 60 minutes on this. Same thing when you have ounces and pounds. Take your ounces, if you have more than 16 ounces on the right side, over here on this side, take it off of here and add it to pounds over here, okay? You're going to have 5 problems like this. Make sure you know 16 ounces in a pound, 12 inches in a foot, and even you had a, let me see if I can find a problem. Probably when I look for it, I'm not going to be able to find one like I'm looking for. I think you're good with that. If you know how to do this, you'll be fine. You also need to know how to find the area of a parallelogram. Remember the formula for area of a parallelogram is base times height. Be very careful, guys. Make sure on your labels, when you find area, what is your label supposed to be? When you go base times height, you're going inches times inches equals inches squared, okay? Make sure that you don't forget this. You're also going to be finding the volume of something. Volume equals length times width times height. Length times width times height. Remember the label for volume? When you go length times width times height equals inch times inch times inch equals inches cubed. Okay? Remember that. All right, then you're going to be cubing measures like you did on page 63, numbers 15. Oh, that's wrong. Should be 64 on numbers 15 and 16, where you that's not what I want. It is number 60, page 63, but it's 13 and 14. Page 63, number 13 and 14, where you converted measures. And sometimes you went to pounds, sometimes you went to ounces. Let's just say, like on the one, we had 4 pounds and 10 ounces. All right, so let's go equals how many pounds? All right, so we've already got 4. And remember, we put this over how many ounces are in a pound? We have 16. Then you just would have had to reduce this. It would have been 4 and 5/8. So if we would have made this ounces, how many ounces would have this been? All right, remember, we have to figure out how many ounces are in this. It's 4 pounds, but there's how many ounces in a pound? 16. So you go 4 times 16, which is 64. And then you also have this, and you add it to 10, which makes it 74 ounces. Let's say this would be hours and minutes. Equals how many minutes? All right. How many minutes are in an hour is 60. So you go 4 times 60 equals 240. And then you add these minutes to it yet. 250. All right, let's say we want to go to hours instead of minutes. How many hours would this be? So we've already got 4, and then we have 10 minutes. Thank you, Miss Candace. Yeah. Then we're taking these minutes and putting them into hours. There's 60 minutes in an hour, so you put 10 over 60. Then you would reduce it, which equals 4 1/6 hour. So just remember to watch. Are you going down smaller or are you going to the bigger thing? Make sure you watch what this label is over here. And you will also be multiplying, you'll be dividing, you'll be subtracting, adding fractions. Just be careful. Some of the division problems, they give you instructions on what you need to do. You have one word problem. Just watch the wording closely. I don't think it'll be a hard one, but just make sure you read it carefully. You will also be taking your compass and you will be drawing a circle. And they tell you how much of a radius to use. It'll be like you, kind of like you did on page 60, numbers 15, 16, and 17, where you draw the radius, then you're going to measure the diameter, and you're going to find the circumference. Make sure you know what the formula is for circumference of a circle. Pi times what? Pi times diameter, okay? Make sure you do that. You also need to know formula for liters to cubic centimeters, cubic meters to liters. Make sure you know that. Make sure you know the perimeter formula. When you're finding missing dimensions, let's just do one here. Perimeter equals, let's just say perimeter is 24. And our perimeter formula is 2L plus 2W. And let's say our width is 2. So let's put in what we know. We know our perimeter is 24. Equals 2 length, we don't know the length, plus 2 times our width. 2 length plus 4. Let's get the L by itself. We need to subtract 4 from both sides. Length, we need to divide both sides by 2 to get L by itself. L equals 10. Okay? Make sure you know the perimeter formula and then solve for L. Put in what you know and solve for L. All right. That's all for your review. I don't think your test looks really hard. Just go slow. I am not there looking over your shoulder and making sure that you're going slow. Don't go too fast. Maybe redo the problems 8 and 9, A, B, and C on both of those. Redo those problems because it's easy to make a mistake on that division and the multiplying. Make sure you do your fractions right. It's easy to make a mistake. Just go slow. Make sure you put your labels in. And when you're doing corrections, if there's something you don't understand, and I need to help you out with something, I want to, because I would love for you to make a really good grade. I will pray for you, and I'm sure you'll do great. See ya.